while American English is mostly removing redundancies in spelling.
Redundancies. Hi everyone, this is Weronika and today I'm here to react to another video on my own. I'm going into this completely blank because I just finished recording, but I saw this pop up on one of the reaction channels I follow. I don't even remember which one. The video is called Casually Explain the English Language, and it is by a channel called Casually Explained that I haven't heard of, but I see they have 4 million subscribers, so I assume it's fairly popular. Maybe you have heard of it. And I just thought I would check it out. I think it's comedic in nature. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, let's check it out together. Again, this is extreme kind of first time watching because it was not recommended to me by anyone. I have no idea what it is, but sounds interesting. Looks like a kind of oversimplified animation, but even simpler. Let's see what it is. Let's crack on.
While most people in the world are forced to learn English if they ever want to leave their country for an international career, English speakers routinely visit other countries for leisure, not learn the language, and then get mad when no one understands them. English is such an influential language, in fact, that most people from English-speaking countries never even consider learning a second language to fluency. If we look at a map of Europe, we can see that the average person in Sweden or Norway knows 2.5 languages, Germany 2, the UK is trailing with 1.6, and America is still figuring out what a kilometer is. One redeeming factoid that I've heard quite frequently from English-speaking people is that English is one of the hardest languages to learn, which isn't true. While I know that they just want to feel good about themselves, they should know by now that no one is allowed to feel good about themselves on my watch, especially myself. In reality, how hard a language is to learn is actually only really related to how similar it is to the language you already know. So for an English speaker, it usually takes about 600 hours of dedicated study and practice to reach conversational fluency in any of the Romance or Scandinavian languages, then around twice as long for Greek, Hebrew, or Slavic languages, then around twice as long as that again for Arabic, Japanese, Korean, Assembly, or Mandarin. So if you're learning English and speak any of those languages, then pretty much the reverse applies.
I wonder how it is when you speak one of the other languages. Myself and Waldemar, we're both trying very hard right now to learn French. And actually, I feel tiny little bit attacked. I don't know if I can be classified as an English speaker in these hours that he showed, because this is not my native language, but I know it quite well, even though it may not seem like that every time I speak. But yeah, 6,000 hours of dedicated study time doesn't sound like that much, so why can't I dedicate that time? Yeah. But yeah, he has a point. If when the languages are similar, it's much faster to learn it. I think it's the strangeness that makes it hard. If I don't know, I looked a little bit in German, so then when you have the genders and the different word order in sentences, that's what makes it so difficult. But for French, for me, what makes French difficult is that they make very long words and they decide they will not pronounce 90% of the characters.
What is true, though, is that English has quite a few quirks that make it easier to learn than other languages in some ways, and quirks that make it way harder as well. One of the best features of English is that we don't have masculine, feminine, or neutral. We just have the definite article the table, the refrigerator, and there are no regular nouns with gender, making English the ultimate safe space language. The downside, however, is that while I was trying to learn French, I would say j'aime le chocolat, and people would say le chocolat, the North Americans are so stupid. And that would hurt my feelings because I was trying my best. But when anyone is learning English as a second language and they say the chocolate, and then I say the chocolate, and they're like the chocolate. And I always think, not so easy now, is it, baguette boy? This is why you haven't been a world superpower for 300 years. What I'm trying to say is that while English nouns have no gender, the definite article the is a nightmare for most trying to learn it, because one of the most difficult sounds to pronounce in English is the th sound, th. I mean, not for me, I fucking nailed it, but for non-English speaking people, who usually replace it with a Z, D, or an F. And if you've ever talked to someone learning English, you'll notice that one of the hardest words to pronounce is squirrel. Again, not for me, it's really just home run after home run.
I'll try. Squirrel? Did I say it right? I never struggled with that word. Now I'm questioning myself. What he said about the D, like, don't even get me started on, like, A, D, or no. no preposition. I do not. I'll put it up here so that I remember it for next time. But parts of speech is something I have learned a long time ago, and I don't use those words often, so sometimes I forget. But yeah, the fact that it's nice that we don't have genders in English to learn, but then whether we have to use a, d, or nothing, sometimes it is not very clear to me. Let me know if you're a native speaker, if you ever struggle with it, or it's like super instinctive. But when I start to overthink it, I just, some very, very specific cases, it's really, it's a pickle sometimes.
But if you're really looking to knock someone international down a few pegs, here's a few things that can be extremely hard to say even for English speakers. So when I put it on the screen, we can all try to say it at the same time. Anemone. 3,000ths. Rural brewery.
Okay, I want to try this one because I think, especially when I edit the sound and the echo, it's going to sound horrible. So maybe you laugh, but let's try. Rural, rural brewery. Again, rural brewery. Nailed it, but I don't know how it will sound with editing.
Thanks, guys. I needed that.
Aww.
Additionally, in comparison to Romance languages, pronunciation in English isn't always consistent phonetically. As an example, in French you have bon, son, pon, fon. But if you try that in English, you get hat, rat, chat, wet. See, it just doesn't work. I mean, if you come across a word you haven't seen in English before, it's sometimes impossible to know how it's pronounced. Take these, for example. Though, through, thought, tough, cough, plow, and sometimes you even have hiccups. Not me though, obviously, I never choke. Within English, there are also many dialects of the same language. For example, while American English is mostly removing redundancies in spelling and saying eggplant instead of aubergine or nip.
Redundancies. I'm sorry, can you see the line dye in my eyes? I am, it's not my native language again, but when I see color with one O, I always get triggered. I don't know, it's color, for God's sake.
American English is mostly removing redundancies in spelling and saying eggplant instead of aubergine or niche instead of niche. Again, basically anything that takes more power away from the French. British English removes a lot of redundancies from entire words. As an example, in American English you would say, I have to go down the elevator and get a ride so I can go and work out. But in British English you just say, I have to take the lift so I can get a lift so I can go and lift. And then in Australian English, they just completely change entire sentences in the most internationally destructive way possible. As an example, in Australian English you would say, Oi, don't you love it when a good cunt's wearing a hot pair of thongs? And while most North Americans would say, oh my goodness gracious, Rachel, get the Bible, what that actually translates to in American English is, hey, don't you love it when your friend is wearing a cool pair of flip-flops? Ultimately, though, every English accent has its advantages and disadvantages. Jamaicans sound cool, but I can't understand them. South Africans sound cool, but I can't understand them. People from Scotland and Wales sound cool, but I'm pretty sure they aren't speaking English. And then people from America sound less cool the higher their neighborhood GDP. Even for me, I have possibly the most generic Pacific Northwest accent imaginable, meaning that I am never allowed to rap. And while that means I am unable to live up to my true potential, the upside is I can do this. Hey Siri, okay Google. Subscribe to Casually Explained. If that didn't work, you're lucky you're wearing headphones, because next time you have them out for 20 seconds, I'm texting your mom. I am just kidding, of course. I can already do that from my phone.
Okay, I really enjoyed that. I mean, it was really funny, and I think, you know what? He seems like a nice guy. He seems like a guy I would like to be friends with. I don't know, but like his dry, self-deprecating humor was 10 out of 10 for me. I want to see what other videos he had, and if we can check out more of them. Let me know if you're interested. What's his most popular video? Casually Explained, is she into you? Casually Explained levels of wealth, might be interesting. Casually Explained red flags, interesting. English languages. Then later, men's fashion, lifting, French. Oh, French. Maybe I'll watch that. Maybe that will motivate me to learn some more. Okay. Yeah, that was a nice deep dive into the unknown. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know if you want to see more of this guy. Or some other channel. I would really, really appreciate it if you, both for myself and for Waldemar, if you can suggest and different channels from us to watch from different niches. I mean, related, we like to watch comedy, we like to watch history, we like to watch some science videos as well, or like epic rap battles, so pop culture related. So yeah, a wide range, but we like to watch things where we can learn something primarily, or have a good laugh and think. So if there's anything that falls into that category that you think we should watch, please leave me a comment with the suggestions, because we would like to deliver what you guys want to see, so you can watch it with us. And we would also like to see fun new things on the internet, because with Waldemar, it is often the case that he shows me things that he's already seen. So if you could help me out, that I could show him something that he hasn't seen, that would be amazing. And if you liked watching this small video with me, please, as always, leave me a like. You can also subscribe to the channel, you can leave me a comment. Any kind of interaction just really helps us a lot, and you guys are already doing a lot of that, so thanks so much for that. And thanks for sticking by with me if you're still watching. Most of you aren't, the analytics page tells me, so if you're here, you're in a very small percentage of people, so if you are still here, you might as well leave me a like, because it may be very well that I am just talking to one person right now, and I see you through the lens, so leave me a like. Kidding. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video, whatever it might be. Bye.